Okay, everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm just going to be focusing on one raid in particular, an overpass, and the scrim that we played against What Academy. That was the first one we played. Obviously, I don't have the demo for the second one, but we did lose this one. We lost it quite hard. 16-4 was the final score, but um, there's one round in particular here, round 4, which I want to look at, and then I'm going to quickly look at a thing from round 9 just to illustrate one of my points. And that should be it for today. First of all, what I want to do is I want to take a look at round 4 in this scrim. It's the first gun round after we forced the second one, so it's the first round where we have full AKs and all that good stuff. And what I want to focus primarily here is partially utility, but also our spacing and that sort of thing, because it's a little bit whack or a little bit out of kilter in the way that we're approaching these things. So let's just start here. We're gonna go through this. The first thing that's gonna happen in this round is Connie is going to die in middle. So let's just watch that real quick. Okay, now that's it's pretty common to be throwing a HE. However, Connie should not have been the one throwing it. As the first person out ramp, and therefore the first person the opera will see, he should really have his gun out and let somebody like Hemi or Hummel, Hummel number 7, Hemi or Hummel be throwing the nades. Instead, they're just both trying to cross to a playground. So really, ideally, what you want to see is Connie having his gun out as the first man to make contact, and then Hemi or Hummel throwing that supportive utility. What's more, though, what I want to look at is that Connie didn't even have the best spawn going into this. If you look here, just switching over to news, you can see it's Hemi or it's Connor up there who has the best spawn to be peeking middle. Connie is actually back here in the back left. And he should really be the one throwing the HE, and Hemi should be the first man out middle. It's a big point of contention on this map early in the round is this opera peeking middle. So if you're looking to establish middle controller, try and take out that opera as Connie was doing with the HE, it shouldn't be the first player who's throwing the utility, and especially not one who didn't have the best spawn. The next thing to look at is Hemi throwing this flash over long. You can see, so they make it over to playground just fine, and Hemi's going to throw this flash over long because you're looking to establish long control. But unfortunately for him, first of all, he partially blinds himself, and second of all, it doesn't really catch anybody on long, to be honest. You see here they come now through party or through playground, sorry, and here comes the flash from Hemi. So you just saw that went over there. It actually caught one of the players, Mooks, here in middle, but I assume that what Hemi was doing was trying to throw this over long. Realistically, that's not going to catch anybody on long. You might, if you're lucky, catch the player on tree, but you're definitely not going to catch anybody who's playing here in long bathrooms or even at flower pot, which, probably the two most common positions for a CT holding long. At this point, Connor dies on the other side of the map. He's walked into B water without any utility and effectively completely alone, which is already something of a mistake in itself. He finds the frag to the player on short, but then is quickly traded by a player he hadn't seen in the corner. Now, getting one kill and then going down isn't the worst. But if you look quickly here, you see he's completely alone on this side of the map with a smoke and a flashbang, and doesn't really get to put either of them to use. A 1-to-1 trade isn't the worst, all things considered, but at the end of the day, it still leaves you guys a man down, in a 3 versus 4, which is not really a situation you want to be in. At this point now, the round is going to start to slow down a little bit. So what really you need to be thinking here is, how are the CTs going to adjust to the current situation? So we've just had the trade here on the B side with Connor going down after he found that initial opening. So it's a 3 versus 4, and the CTs are a little bit split up. We have 2 on each side. Now, this is actually quite a standard setup. If they were, initially stacking B, which they were with 3 players, nothing really is going to change here. 2 on each site is pretty, a pretty standard thing for a 4-man CT team. The only thing you really need to worry about potentially is that they rotate a man down towards B after that first player goes down. Especially that might happen, if they still have bathrooms control or they're sure you're not up long or that kind of thing. But you guys have established long control at this point, so they're just gonna fall back to side and just play 2-2 on each side. So if they're only playing 2 players on each side, you're essentially taking a 3 versus 2 fight, which definitely favors you. So really, it doesn't matter which site you hit at this stage, but I do think that you made the right decision by hitting this A site. You've just established long control, and you're about to establish bathroom control. So let's look at that real quickly. What we're going to see is Hummel flashing Hemi in. The flash goes a little bit deep for my liking. Now this is being very nitpicky, but somebody holding deep here, might not get caught, but still the idea is there and it's good. You're using your utility, you're flashing and you're working as a team. That's very good, and that's the sort of thing we want to be seeing. But again, me just being nitpicky, the flash was a little bit deep from Hamel, but aside from that, very, very good. So now you guys have established bathrooms control. And I think at this point, Hummel has made the decision that you guys are going to hit the A side. Just peering down Lon, stepping up over that flower pot. Finch actually there is going to drop the bomb. And I don't know, I'm not sure about that as a decision, because if you guys are indeed committed to the A side at this stage, really I don't know if you should be leaving the bomb behind. But we're gonna stop it right about here. Hemi, now switching back over to, no, he says Hemi has made his way all the way up bathrooms. Finch is just checking that connector real quick and is gonna slowly start to make his way up to join him. Hummel in the meantime is very, very far behind. So right now you guys are actually quite split up in terms of going into the site. Hemi is gonna take this peek out from bathrooms and make his way up. Now right now, look how many angles Hemi is exposed to. He is exposed here to somebody peeking from signs, somebody peeking from this side of the default boxes. This side of the default boxes has Manny is right now. Somebody potentially at jump up, somebody at truck. There's a lot of angles, which definitely is a bad thing, but would be a little bit better if there were somebody there to trade him out should he go down. The person closest to him is Finch, who is still all the way back here at Divider. So if Hemi goes down here, which is exactly what's going to happen, he's going to get picked off by this AWP of Manny. There's no trade potential at all. Finch is too far away to try and take the trade, and Hummel is fucking still back in bathrooms watching the flank. So really, ideally, what you guys should be doing here, if you are going to this A side, is you should be together as 3 men. Maybe 2 in bathrooms and 1 on banana, or 2 banana, 1 short. It doesn't really matter. But you should be as 3 men, because really, considering you have the numbers advantage 3 on 2, you want to be sticking together and playing the trades. But right now, what you're doing is you're very, very spaced out, and also you're not really using your utility. Hummel, the man with utility. I think Hemi had a flash before he went down. Yeah, he had a flash there, and Hummel with a Molotov and a HE, could very easily deploy that towards bank or maybe truck, or jump up to try and force somebody away. Even the default boxes bouncing it off the CT truck here, really could have given you guys a better chance coming to that site. But you just played a little bit poorly. You're a little bit uncoordinated. I think there's a lack of calls. Really, there was a lack of clarity as to what exactly you guys are doing, how exactly you were going to take the site. So that's just something to look at next time. But we'll just play this out here again real quick. We'll see Hemi get taken down and Finch there with the trade. And Mooks goes down. And now we're down to Hummel in a 1v1. He's going to make a lot of noise coming down through B here. And while it's maybe a bit of a gamble to assume that the rest of the CTs have rotated up towards A, you can be pretty certain that there's only at most only 1 player here on B. So how is Hummel going to play this 1 versus 3? Well, like I said just there, he knows that that there's at most 1 here. If in a very unlikely scenario, there's 2 here, but you can be pretty certain there's only going to be 1 here. Now look at the utility that Hummel has right now. He has a HE, a Molotov, and he's just picked up a flash from the body of the CT that was killed earlier in the round by Connor. So let's take a look at how Hummel is going to use his utility to help him entry onto here, because really going out dry is not a good idea, even if there's a maximum of 1 player. But unfortunately for Hummel, that's exactly what he's going to do. Now, he is going to find that kill onto the player in heaven, And it's good that he did that. It's a good shot. It's a nice kill for him to find. But really, the only reason he was allowed to find that kill and stay alive is the fact that Relic there was watching Monster instead of looking towards Short, which is where he heard Hummel last. So, it's still full utility here for Hummel. He doesn't use any of it. Well, almost full utility. He doesn't use any of it. And ultimately goes down to the AK of Relic. So, jump back over into Noesis real quick. Let's have a look. What could Hummel have done, I suppose, to make this clutch that a little bit more doable for him? So right now, after that Molotov is faded, he's going to go here in a second. What I would do personally is throw the Molotov that I have towards this ramp position here, or maybe try get it into barrels. Then just, if I'm still back here, just fuck a flash over here or over Monster as I go out to just blind anybody basically who's looking at me, at least force them to look away and potentially give me a chance to catch them off guard or with their back turned, whatever, that sort of thing. So that's a big thing is Hummel in this 1 versus 3. It's a 1 versus 3. It's not really that doable, but still I think he could have played it a little bit better. Now what I want to do instead of just talking at you guys about, oh, here's how I would have played this clutch or whatever, I'm actually going to show you an example of Hemi in a sort of a similar situation. He's in a 1 versus 5 instead of a 1 versus 3 here, but the idea is the same. He's going towards the B site, and instead of just kind of running out dry, he's going to use utility very effective. So first thing he's going to do is he's going to line up this smoke for mid side. That one flies just towards the mid side of B, and then he's going to throw this Molotov, which is going to clear out barrels. Finally, he's going to flash himself out Monster, and now he's just almost for free, essentially, got an out Monster without really any danger at all. So what the setup that the CTs had was they had this 2-man setup on B where they had Cock playing from barrels and Relic playing from water. Now, if Hemi had just walked out of Monster dry here, the most he could have gotten was 1 kill before being traded by the other player. Realistically, maybe he gets lucky and finds a 2 kill, but 9 times out of 10, he'll find 1 kill and then go down, maybe 0 kills. But by throwing this smoke and this Molotov, as well as this flash, firstly, that Molotov is going to force Cock away from the barrels and down towards water. And Hemi knows this. So what he's then going to do is he's going to throw this flash at Monster as he's coming out, which is going to blind both the players who are there looking and force them back. It's going to push them back towards water, and it allows Hemi out of Monster, like I say, basically for free. Now, if I go ahead and play out the rest of this, he actually, unfortunately for him, doesn't end up getting any kills, but purely from a utility perspective, he played that absolutely perfectly, in my opinion. So finally, what I'm going to go through is just quickly run through the nade thing on the Noesis that I showed you guys before, and just compare and contrast to what we had the last time. So, on our T side here, where we had a full 15 rounds, we had a total of 36 flashes, 23 smokes, and 14 incendiaries, HEs, whatever. Comparing to their T side, which they had far fewer rounds on, they had already used 18 flashes, 15 smokes, and 13 incendiaries. I can't remember exactly how many rounds they had on their T side. Like they had five rounds on their T side, and already look at how many nades they've thrown in comparison to us. It's a little bit lackluster to look at, but it's an improvement over what we saw the last time. To be honest, it's better than what we saw. We have more flashes over B, so flashing people onto angles, stuff over mid and bathrooms and that kind of thing. So, it's a small improvement, and I think definitely in the second game, which we don't have the demo for, against the team that we beat, utility usage was better again. I was paying particular attention to that after Hummel pointed it out to me. I don't have exact numbers because I'm a lazy fuck, but there you go. But yeah, it was definitely a lot better in the second game. But even here, it's still an improvement. So, looking at our CT side, where we only had a few rounds, we barely anything, to be honest, but we didn't really get any buys in, so that's not too much of an issue. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. So thank you guys for watching.